I would like to share with you my own experience of education. We talked for the last couple of days, we talked a lot about human development and in the end the necessity of education, new paradigm education. And I would like to share my experience of the business education from my own university. And I'm not saying that this example is the best practice, and but it has been 7 or 8 years since I first started this project within my university, and there were lots of ups and downs and trial and error, and I would like to share with you what I've done and would like to get some consultation from you. Well, we have been talking about new paradigm shift, and so on and so forth. And let me list following as my own interpretation of what's going on. I'm sure that you might want to add more of your keywords in terms of paradigm shift in your own version. I think paradigm shift or new paradigm, it's all about shift from part to the whole, shift from ego to self or community, shift from fear to love, shift from dependence to interdependence, independence and interdependence, shift from objective science to a process of learning, shift from learning to know to learning to be, shift from hypothesis testing to divine mysteries, shift from productivity to creativity, shift from efficiency to justice and sustainability, shift from data analysis to storytelling, shift from function to design. And business is no exception, because business obviously operating in society, and this change in societal value and orientation, we cannot but have a new paradigm of business, and I call it conscious business. It's all about question of why and question of who we are as business leaders and business educators. Conscious business is all about responsibility. Yes, English word responsibility is our ability to respond. And I think it totally depends on our consciousness. My definition of consciousness, I think it has two dimensions of awareness. One is question of who we are again, mission, ontological purpose. And then you can be aware of your footsteps on earth, impact, what is the right thing to do. This is justice question. But again, unless you are conscious about your ontological purpose, you cannot be conscious about your impact on earth. So it's conscious business. Conscious business, I think there are 3 convictions. I know it sounds rather radical, but I think this is the way to go. Companies, the conviction number 1, companies have a purpose that transcends profit maximization. Whenever I say this, I tell my students that, okay, human beings cannot live without making enough red blood cells, but human beings do not live in order to make red blood cells. And companies, the same. Conviction number 2, conscious business, they are managed for the benefit of all stakeholders, employees, customers, society, partners, so on and so forth, investors, of course, in their economic ecosystem, not just shareholders. But this does not mean we abandon the maxim of profit maximizing for shareholders. Indeed, this is the way to maximize shareholders, to take care of the stakeholder values. And finally, conscious business is all about culture and leadership. Conscious business, they are led by spiritually evolved, self-effacing servant leaders. So we do require totally different kind of leadership. So companies surrounded by stakeholders, doing good for the stakeholders, and that will do good for the company shareholders. Conscious business is about DNA change in capitalism or way of looking at business. just like butterfly, from caterpillar to butterfly. I heard that it's very rare that from caterpillar to butterfly, they change the DNA structure. And DNA, it's about DNA. Very drastic change. Well, this is very famously cited business case of Whole Foods, and it's all about win-win-win-win situation among stakeholders, employees, partners, customers, investors, societies. They are all win-win-win-win situation, and it all starts with core values and purpose of Whole Foods. The company name Whole Foods, I think, is beautiful. Well, I should not put PR the certain company, but so their spirit of company, core values, by providing healthy food, organic food to the society, it has such a cause, and that value represented in their HR strategy and the value chain management strategy and marketing strategy, investor relations strategy, and so on and so forth. And it will generate the loyalty among each and every stakeholders, and this win-win-win-win kind of situation through the loyalty of participating stakeholders will generate sort of virtuous cycle. So I think that's the very key issue here. Well, again, tradition. Each country's tradition has such, I think, tradition already at heart, I think. In Korean, we say company as 기업. And again, this is from Chinese character. And 기업, 업 means karma, and 기 means cause. 기업 is about causing karma. You do good things and you will get good things back. So the original traditional philosophy of Korea, we already have that. And this particular cup, this is sort of magic cup, and all Korean merchants carry this cup all the time whenever they go on a business trip. And what this cup is about is it has two sections, upper part and lower part. And if you take a look at the upper part, in the middle there is a cylinder. And cylinder is about 80% height of the height of the cup. In the cylinder, it has a hole and goes to the bottom part of the cup. And what happens is, if you pour the liquor into the cup will never full because of the cylinder, right? So only the 8% full, 80% full. Why merchants of Korea all days carry this cup? Well, think about others as well, right? Don't take everything, this kind of spirit. So I think that, again, it represents some sort of spirit of stakeholder perspective of running business already at heart in Korean culture. Okay, so UNESCO future report has it that we are moving into new paradigm of education, from industrial age paradigm to post-industrial paradigm. And industrial age paradigm is all about learning to know and learning to do, and we are moving into learning to be and learning to live together. And actually, this is not new neither. I mean, Lao Tzu, Chinese philosopher, some 2,500 years ago, he said, the best way to do is to be. So we are living in a very, seemingly new era, but this is the era that we ought to be again. So in the learning to be, substance of learning, the list of substance of learning might include self-awareness, awareness about others, cultural empathy and globality, principled decision-making, social responsibility, and ecological sustainability. And globality, one of the colleague, he was very active in the UN Global Compact movement anyway. In his book, globality is defined as globality is simply an emotional, spiritual, aesthetic sense of the globe. This is kind of the mindset we've got to develop. Okay, so in the age of learning to live together, these are the list of things we might think about as agenda for the for the education. So the understanding of others and understanding of ecological system, interdependence, and so on and so forth. And now, for the last 5 minutes, I would like to briefly talk about these three dimensions, or these three core variables that we need to think about in order to implement the change or transformational process of our business education and business schools. Number one, it's about people. Again, this morning we talked about the professor's new challenge. It's about professors. Number two, it's about pedagogy, methodology of education. And then it's all about change management of organization or business school itself. The people, pedagogy, institution, these are three major categories that we need to think about in order to implement the genuine change process, which is necessary. So about people. The consciousness in professor itself is very important. And also stakeholder participation. We are moving into an era where what is good for professor is good for student. We need to listen to student and let student participate, and also other relevant stakeholders participate in the process of learning. In some sense, this is rather tricky, but in some sense, we are moving into a new era of education where education and religion can go hand in hand together. It does not necessarily be a Catholic or certain organized religion, but it may be about spirituality as well. So I think we are moving into a very interesting era. And this is the one particular book I translated recently to Korean. The book was published by Pontifical Council for Justice and Peace. And it says this: teachers need to inspire their students to discover the good that is within them and to follow their call to use their professional skills and judgment as a force for good in the world. Well, actually, I prepared some photos of my own the university for the last the 7 or 8 years of journey, and about the change process of our business school. We changed the vision and mission statement, and he is the former executive director of Yong-Seung Company when he visited our campus. Vision and mission and values, change it, and following the principle of responsible management education, and we try to embed this mission and value into every strategic program of our own schools. And some forums we hosted, and pedagogy. It's all about knowledge is emerging. So emerging knowledge, we got to think about this and how to apply some the pedagogical program in order to deal with this kind of change. So one of the drastic change that we went through is the change of the fundamentals of management course and the fundamentals of responsible management course. And textbook was written by 9 professors of our faculty members, and it has been 6 years now. Okay, let me just, this is the first class of responsible management education. Online education, I think it's very well suited and it's a very effective tool for this. And experiential learning, global the experience is very important. Culture and leadership for business school itself, and carefully design strategic programs and implement it and evaluate on it and reflect upon what's going on and keep going on. Okay, so that's the very critical part. It's all about human development, and our challenge is educational challenge stands before us. That's a big challenge for us. And again, following Professor Zucconi's last comment, good luck all on our journey. Thank you.